So in heterotrophic nutrition, what we're discussing about, those organisms who depends on other organisms for their food, okay, are called as heterotrophs. Okay, and the mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition, and such mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, but understood this one. Now we have to go through with the definition that we have here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we have the heterotrophic. See, why can you think why these animals or organisms, they are depending on other organisms for their food? Why?
Sir, because they do not have the power to synthesize
Yes,
food
yes,
with the use of sunlight and carbon dioxide.
yeah, because they do not have capacity. Okay, so because see here we have, they do not have capacity, like they unable to synthesize their own food, okay, by the process called photosynthesis. So they do not have capacity because they do not have chlorophyll in them, okay, and therefore has to depend on other organisms for their source. Okay, that's why such animals and plants even, okay, are called as heterotrophs. Okay, so they depends on other animals for their food, that's why they are called as heterotrophs, and such mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, if we'll discuss about like human being also, so can we synthesize our own food like plant do? No, that's why we are also the heterotrophs. Okay, we are also the heterotroph. So except all green plants, so I'm going to write some example here. Example, we have human being, then we have all herbivorous, all carnivorous, we have herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivores, all saprophytes, okay, are called as heterotrophs. They all are heterotrophs because they depends on other organism for their food. Okay, so we have to discuss some important point about the heterotrophic nutrition. So all animals and non-photosynthetic, see, all animals and non-photosynthetic plant, like we have some fungal, okay, fungus, they do not synthesize their own food. Okay, that's why they are non-photosynthetic plant. Like we have Cuscuta plant, it depends on other plant for its nutrition. Okay, it is also called as amarbel. The Cuscuta plant is called as amarbel also. It totally depends on other plant for their food. Okay, are classified as heterotrophs since they are unable to prepare their own food. Because they are unable to prepare their own food, that's why they are in heterotrophs. So those organisms restored to other various forms of nutrition, that's why they perform other nutrition. Like herbivorous, they depends on the plant only. Okay, so they are herbivorous. But carnivorous, they depends on herbivorous and other organism also. Okay, so they are carnivorous. Omnivorous, they depends on animals as well as plants for their food. That's why, so on the basis of their different mode, we have classified them into the different categories to heterotrophs. Okay, hence from ecological preservative, heterotrophs are always secondary or tertiary consumer in the food chain. Okay, so heterotrophs, they are present always on secondary, tertiary, or apex consumer. Even they present like we have saprophytes. So saprophytes are nothing but the microorganism and fungi. Okay, they what they do, they totally depends on the dead organic matter of plant and animal. Okay, means they also depends on others. Okay, so humans and other vertebrates rely on converting organic solid or liquid food into the energy. So why these heterotrophs and other all organisms, they depend, why they consume the food? Because in order to survive or in order to being alive, they required energy, and that energy is, derived from the food they eat. Okay, that's why every organism required energy and for to survive life, and for energy they consume food, whether it is from plants or from other sources. Okay, so other organisms such as fungi, okay, it rely on converting the dead organic matter, okay, of maybe plant or animal. Okay, so these organisms are called as saprophytes. They are also heterotrophs, but they are depend on the dead organic matter. That's why they are called as saprophytes. Okay. So on that basis, we have divided heterotrophic nutrition into three main categories. One, we have holozoic nutrition. Then we have saprophytic nutrition, and we have parasitic nutrition. Okay, so we will discuss these all types one by one in detail. Okay, so first we are going to start the holozoic nutrition. Okay, we are going to start the holozoic nutrition. Till here, any doubt beta in heterotrophic nutrition?
No, sir.
Okay, see, holozoic nutrition means what? So it involves the ingestion of food. It involves ingestion of food, maybe in the form of solid or liquid food. Okay, and internal processing of the solid and liquid food in an organism's body. Okay, this involves the step by step process of the digestion of food. See, I'm going to write all the 5 stages here. There are 5 steps. Okay, number 1 step, we have intake of food. Intake of food. That food may be in liquid state or in solid state. Okay, this process, intake of food, is called as ingestion. This process is called as ingestion. Then next process, we have the second process. After the intake of food, food is converted from complex to simpler form. This process is called as digestion. This process is called as digestion. And after digestion, nutrition have to be absorbed from the food, digested food. Okay, so next step will be absorption of nutrition. Absorption of nutrients. Then next step, the fourth step, we have assimilation. Assimilation means once the nutrients are absorbed from the digested food, that nutrients have to be transported to different part of the body in order to produce energy. Is it or not? Okay, so transportation of that nutrients to various part of the body where they are going to be used, that process is called as assimilation. And last but not the least, it is the fifth step. Okay, so in fifth step, when after assimilation, energy is being produced in order to survive the life. So after production of energy, waste material is formed. Okay, that waste material have to be removed out from the body. So the removal of waste as well as residue of digested food and undigested food have to be removed out from the body, and this process is called as excretion. excretion. Okay, it is nothing but the removal of waste. Removal of waste out from the body. Okay, this process is called as excretion. So these are the 5 stages that involve in Holozoic nutrition. Okay, beta, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we have given one example how the process of Holozoic nutrition takes place. Okay, we have taken example of amoeba. We will discuss one by one few more, process in few more organisms. Okay, so in case of amoeba, see, amoeba do not have fixed shape and size. Okay, so see, so this is the food particle. Okay, to absorb, to consume this food particle, that see, this is the shape of the new amoeba. It changes its shape like this. Okay, in order to ingestion of food. Okay, that part which has formed to consume the food is called as pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. Okay, podia means foot. Okay, foot like a structure, and the pseudo means false. Okay, they looks like the food in order to consume the food, but they are false food. Okay, they are found only for the locomotion. Sometimes they are formed for the absorption, for the ingestion of food. Okay, that's what they are called as pseudopodia. Okay, see, after, see, this pseudopodia, they comes in contact with each other over here, and you can see ultimately this food is being absorbed by the amoeba. Okay, and after ingestion of that food, it is break down into the simpler form in order to produce, in order to absorb nutrients from it. Okay, once the nutrients are being absorbed, okay, see here the digestion means the breakdown of food particle takes place here. One step and second, fourth step. This is first, second, third, and fourth. In fourth step, see, food is being already break down and converted into the waste material, and then waste material is removed out again from the pseudopodia. Okay, so by this process, how amoeba is absorbing the food, then digestion, then assimilation. See, all the processes mentioned here. Ingestion of food is given in first diagram, and second stage, see, second stage, this one here we have, it is the digestion of food, means the breakdown of the complex food into the simpler form is called as digestion. And after digestion, absorption of nutrients takes place, and assimilation means the transportation of, see, these are this different dots you can see here, they are nutrients, they, and then they are going to use for energy production. And in fourth, after fourth, we have fifth step where the removal of waste material takes place, and it is called as egestion. It is nothing but excretion. So all these, 5 stages carried out starting from the unicellular organism like amoeba to multicellular organism like human being. Then we have whale fish. Okay, so the basic difference is that the process, all these processes are being more complex in complex animal, and it is very simple in simple animal like amoeba. Okay, so these all 5 processes, all steps, they becomes more complex in multicellular organism like human being. All these processes are being performed by the different organ system we have in our body. Okay, so this is the how holozoic process takes place. Now we will discuss about the types of holozoic nutrition. Understood that part?
Yes.
Okay. Now we will discuss about the types of holozoic nutrition. So first we have herbivores. Herbivorous. So herbivorous, the word herb means, what is the meaning of herb?
Sir,
Green,
small.
yes, green plants. Green plants and parts of the plant. Parts of the plant. Okay, so these organism depends upon the plants only. Okay, so I am going to write definition over here for herbivores. Okay, so those organism those organism which depends on, who depends on green plants only for their food are called as herbivores. Okay, so example, so this organism depends upon the plant for their food, that's why they are called as herbivores. Like example, we have cow, we have buffaloes, we have deer, elephants are all are herbivores. Okay, see, like if we'll discuss about green plants, they contain cellulose. Okay, they contain lot amount of cellulose, and these animals, all the herbivores, have capacity to digest the cellulose. Okay, but we do not have capacity to digest the like more amount of cellulose. That's why we are cooking the food before eating. Okay, so here we have horse, we have rabbit, we have, it is koala, then we have cow, and we have giraffe. All these animals are herbivores. Okay, then we have next level, which is carnivores. So carnivores means those organisms, they depends on other organisms. So carnivores means flesh eaters. Flesh. Flesh means
Meat, sir. Meat.
yes, meat. Okay, so they are flesh eaters. So we can say those organisms, they depends on other organism except plant. They are not going to eat plants. So we can say they are flesh eaters, are called as carnivores. So these animals feed upon other animals. Okay, so they depends on animals only. Okay, for their food are called as carnivores. So here we have lion, we have tiger, we have leopard, and uh, we have more like crocodile. Okay, so all these are wolf we have. Okay, so all these are carnivores. Okay, so we have divided carnivores into one more category called scavengers. What are scavengers?
Those who eat dead food or rotten meat.
Huh?
Those who eat rotten meat, sir.
No, leftover meat we will say, leftover. See,
Yes,
those
already eaten by
carnivores,
other animal.
yes,
That
those
depend on dead animals.
dead animals as well as the leftover flesh of the, like if tiger will going to kill the buffalo, so tiger will not going to eat whole the body of buffalo, so he will whatever he will require he will eat, and when he will go out from there, then these animals, like we have hyena, we have wolf, okay, and we have eagle, so vulture, they will go over there and they will eat that rest part of that organism or dead animal. Okay, so means they depends on dead as well as leftover flesh of the animal. So such animals are called as scavengers. Okay, so they depends on a leftover food of other animals like and dead organisms also. Okay, so I'm going to write definition for scavengers. So those carnivores, see, they are carnivores. Okay, so they depends on res carnivores. They depends on dead body of animals animals and left over flesh, of animals are called as scavengers. Okay, so they are also carnivores. Okay, so see here we have crocodile, we have tiger, we have lion, we have wolf. Okay, we have whale also, we have frog also, we have snake also. Okay, and here it is orca.
Orca, sir.
Yes, yes. So all these are the carnivores. Okay, they totally depend on other animals for their food. Okay, so this is all about the carnivores. Now we have omnivores. So we are also omnivores. So those organisms, they depends on plant as well as on animals for their food. Okay, like human being, they used to eat food which is directly coming from the plants, like we have vegetables, we have rice, wheat, bajra, whatever we are eating every day. And we also depends on the animals also, like chicken, like we have mutton. Okay, we are eating eggs also, fish. Okay, so these all are nothing but the animals. So those organisms, they depends on plants as well as on animal for their food, are called as omnivores. Okay, so where nice definition is written over here. These animals can survive on either plants or animals for their food, are called as omnivores. So we have here example like cockroach, we have pig, we have chimpanzees, we have raccoons, we have ants, etc. Even human beings we have. Okay, so all the, even dog, it is not written over here, but dog is also there. We are writing more example, like we have dog. Okay, we have cat, it is already given over here. No, 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 it is not cat, raccoons is there. Okay, we have cat also. So cat is also eating both, like plant product as well as animal products. Okay, so all these are nothing but carnivores, sorry, omnivores. Okay, so till here, any doubt, beta?
No, sir.
Okay, so I want you to take a screenshot whatever we have written over here.
Sir, cat is not a type of omnivore, sir. Like it does not eat plant products.
See, cat.
Yes, sir.
See, generally what we are, doing, like if we are preparing the sweet, feast, like prepared by the rice. Okay, so cat is eating rice also, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So rice is plant product.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and it is also killing the rat. Okay, so again it
Yes, sir.
depends on animals also. So it is in omnivores. Okay. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so I want you to take a screenshot from here. Just let me know. Let me know if you have
I'm
already
done, sir.
done.
Please down. Yeah,
Now, second part from here.
done,
Then
sir.
third from here.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now we will going to discuss about the saprophytes. Okay. So saprophytes are, very important for cleaning our environment. Okay. So saprophytes are the organisms that feed upon the dead and decaying organic matter, whether they are from plant or animal. Okay. So here, wait a second. So what are saprophytes? Saprophytes are the organisms that feed on the dead and decaying organic matter and organism. Okay, like plant and animals are there. Okay, so such organisms are called as saprophyte, and the mode of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. Okay, saprophytes animal which follow saprophytic nutrition means what? Those that depend on the dead organic matter only. Okay, and feed upon the dead and decaying organism and organic matter. Okay, for their energy, and they converts complex food material. They converts complex matter into simpler form. Simple matter. Okay, what they are doing? They are converting the complex material into the simple form. Okay, this is the main and important role of the saprophytes. They are very important part of the ecosystem as they help to keep our environment clean, because they are depending on the dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, that's why they are very important to maintain our ecosystem and recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. Okay, and this simple form of nutrition again will get absorbed by the plant for the next nutrient cycle. Okay, that's why these organisms are very important. Okay, some examples of saprophytes are given here, like we have fungi. Okay, and certain types of bacteria are also there. These are also responsible for the selling of bread and other food products also. Okay, like if we'll discuss about the conversion of milk into the curd, where lactose sugar of milk is converted into lactic acid, where milk is converted into curd. Okay, and here again the very important role of bacteria called lactobacilli. Okay, so there are many bacteria and other microorganisms. They are responsible for the various processes of the environment. Okay, like we have fermentation. Okay, again microorganisms are there. Okay, so saprophytic plants, like here some examples are given here. They derive the nutrition. Okay, let me highlight this part. They derive the nutrition from the dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, they release digestive juice on the dead and decaying matter. Okay, and this digestive juice helps to break down the complex food into the simpler form. These juice convert the organic matter into liquid form. See, these enzymes, or which the digestive juice which is secreted by this organism, convert the organic matter into liquid form, and they absorb this liquid and obtain nutrition from them. Okay, so they are like, we have monotropa is here, mushroom, might be you have heard about the mushroom. Okay, some kind of mushroom, they are eatable. Okay, and generally in rainy season, okay, we used to eat mushroom. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
And mold is also there. Okay, so these are the fungi. They are very again useful, and some fungi have very important medicinal property also. Then we have saprophytic release certain enzymes to act upon the complex organic matter. See, they are what they are doing basically, the complex food material or organic matter, complex organic matter is converted into simpler form, simple organic matter. organic matter in the form of nutrients. Okay, and these are nothing but the process is carried out by saprophytes. Okay, and they releases some enzyme. Okay, and juice, digestive juice. Okay, with the help of juice and enzyme, these complex organic matter converted into the simple form. Okay, in such a simple form so that they form the nutrients, and this nutrition can again absorbed by the plant, and this nutrition again get back into the food cycle. Okay, so it works on breaking it down and constituent particles which can be easily consumed by them only. Okay, and these are again consumed by them, or either the nutrients can reabsorb by the plant. Again these nutrients get enter into the life cycle. Okay, so these are the process by how saprophytes they clean our environment. Okay, beta.
Okay, sir.
So we have only 1 minute left. So I'm going to, disconnect. Then we will rejoin and we will resolve all the problems of the last lecture as well as today. We will revise all these topics once. Okay, done?
All right.
Okay. So I want you all to rejoin within a minute.